Good morning guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Gav aka Baytech, and today in this video we're going to be playing with the RX7. It's a nice Saturday morning, Greg's off work and he's decided to come along and help me get this thing inside the car. Now, we're not sure how far we're going to get on with this build. We are hoping to see if we can try and fit this in. The engine and the gearbox is together, and we're hoping to see if we can fit this thing in the car and transmission tunnel, see if we can move it all forward enough so we can get an idea of how we're going to mount this gearbox and the engine. But you never know in this video. When Greg comes round, we normally do batter on with stuff, and we might end up getting this thing on some sort of mount today. So if you remember, this isn't actually the engine we're going to be using. This is just a dummy engine for me. I've got another one there, but my main engine's actually in the car just now because it's now back from the machine shop for the new forged pistons and rods. And originally I used the gearbox mount off the back of the transfer case to mount the box. However, on this setup I want to run a full exhaust system on the car. It did feel a little bit jailbait to me running it out the side and out the front and out the bonnet and stuff like that, so I do want this thing a little bit more road legal. Legally in the UK, for it to pass an MOT, it's allowed an exhaust out the front as long as it actually exits the vehicle behind the front wheels. Now, there's nowhere really in this chassis to exit out the side, so at the front, and to be honest I didn't really like the noise because you can't really fit silencers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to whap off this. I'll cut this whole exhaust off, mount off here, and we'll get exhaust from the side, which will tuck around here and then go out to the back of the car. But if I'm cutting off the mount, I need to make a new mount. So the gearbox mount we're planning on making will probably come off of these bolts here, and I'll make a plate that'll kind of mount off here, and we'll use like a bush kind of coming in this direction. And it's so tight at the top of the tunnel, we're probably going to have to get the gearbox bolt from inside the car. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a challenge. But that'll do for introductions. As always, push the car back, get the engine and box on the driveway, and we'll just lift shit about until something fits. So the first attempt we're going to do is, this is just actually to try and help tilt it. The balance point of the engine is right here, so it was quite interesting. We just had one strap on it and the thing lifted level, so they're not equal weights. This is definitely lighter than the engine, however it's not far off. But what the plan is we're going to try and get this thing in and duck the nose down into the trans tunnel and just try and see how far we can get by getting the nose in and then kind of pushing it in. And if we can get it in like that, that'd be pretty cool. Right, so this is where we are so far. We're actually struggling to get the engine and gearbox in a winner. There's just not enough room in the back, and then we have this cross brace here. Yeah, I could remove the front subframe, but I don't really want to be able to have to do that. I already pulled the rack out as it is, so I have to pull this whole lot back out again, separate the engine from the gearbox. Probably have to put them in separately, which is a bit of a pain in the arse, but then again, if I can remove the engine without having to remove the box, that's always a good thing as well. Right, so she's back out again, so we'll take the engine off the box, and then we'll get the engine plonked in to where we think it needs to go, and then we'll get the box in position and see if it's going to be there or thereabouts. Right, so box on the floor, engine in. You can see where we need to go for our mounts from here to there. And we'll just use this box section, this pipe here. I'll probably cut it about here, and then we'll just cope this piece straight into that. And this is kind of thick sidewall. Last time I used fucking handrail, and it held up in the bar, so this one's a little bit trickier because it needs to come up at an angle, two ways. But again, same sort of thing. We'll have it there. So that's the idea anyway. So let's cut a little bit off and we'll see what we come up with. I can keep my mind still. Keep them thoughts away.
space in my brain. Hold this silence when I go insane. Hear the siren.
There we go, broski. Perfect. DOS mounts. DOS, that's it. There we go. So first sort of pipey cut out. Just need to get the lengths now. Right. So that's fine. Right, so that's tacked in place, the first one, out the way of the prop shaft. And I might actually come off the bottom of this and go down to the prop shaft hoop, but we'll see. I'll maybe have to make a wee adapter for that. But yeah, first one on. So it's still pissing down, but we have got progress now. We're now on the engine mounts, both sides. Nothing else is holding it up. And as you can see, we've got enough rock, plenty of rock here to get the box angle bang on. And as you can see, we've still got plenty of space here. And underneath here, I've got some room for a sump. Because I've got to take into consideration, I'm using a girdle plate and the sump. So yeah, this is looking good. Happy with this because it gives us plenty of angle to play with that box. The reason I need to play with the angle of the box is obviously where the diff is and the angle for the prop shaft, and the actual front prop itself also needs to come up at a bit of an angle. So yeah, that's looking good. Right, we're now inside the car. We've got the box onto the engine. We've got the box up just now and a ratchet strap with this mechanism off the cage. But we've got it in position, so if you can see down there, there's that bolt there and that bolt there. I'm thinking about making a plate up here and along, and then maybe use this as a bush of some sort to fit in there, and then mount this box just directly off this. Now this is a solid mount obviously, but the engine mounts are rubberized. I'll let it rotate this way, which this will also rotate the box move this way. It just won't rotate this way, which is not an issue. So yeah, everything's looking good and straight and nice and neat. So yeah, that's probably going to do it for this video, because I think this one is going to need a video for itself. So yeah, I'm going to do a wee parts run today and give this a wee rest for now. But would you look at that? It's now in on engine mounts, and we've got the box inside the car. So yes, a bit of progress for now anyway, for you guys to catch up on the build. And as always guys, stay safe, take care, and we'll catch you in the next vid. Cheers.